We talked last week about how the WWE had problems with writers and storytelling. Well, a glaring and obvious sign of that is the fact that they've had a guy who's been cleared to wrestle since December, and he hasn't been on TV, and we're in June. I'm talking about Christian. You couldn't find a way to work him into some storyline by this point. You're still keeping him on your roster. You're still having him show up to events to sign. You're not even having him work dark matches. You're not having him on main event. You have a guy who's just on the road with you, and you're not using him for any reason. I'm not a huge Christian fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I find it very odd that the WWE has this guy who was cleared back in December, and they haven't found any way to work him onto TV. How can you not figure out some angle, some storyline to get this guy back on TV?
I know a lot of you have to be extremely happy. You're counting down the days until CM Punk returns at Payback. In one of the featured matches on that show in Chicago, it's going to be him against Chris Jericho. Because for some reason, there's still some dispute about who's the best in the world, even though I thought CM Punk clearly established in his feud last year that he was the best in the world because he always beat Chris Jericho. Which is exactly why I think Chris Jericho should go over CM Punk at Payback. And hear me out, and here's why I say this. CM Punk played this kind of angle. They did it with him where after WrestleMania losing to Taker, he had lost to Rock twice, he lost to Taker, he kind of lost his smile, he needed to get away from things and go away for a little while. Well, Chris Jericho's kind of been around. Yes, feuding with Fandango, but the bottom line is he has been active. He has been wrestling. He's been involved with the product on a consistent basis, and CM Punk's been gone for about 2 months now. Now, if you're going to bring CM Punk back, and you're going to maybe bring him back and try to have him maybe even turn babyface, and maybe you're trying to set up something between, let's say, him and Lesnar, or him and even Axel at some point in time down the road, maybe at SummerSlam, and you're trying to involve the Paul Heyman angle there, then to me, what better way to do that than to have CM Punk come back after being gone for a couple of months, being a bit rusty, still not having fully found himself, and have him lose to Chris Jericho. That way, maybe you could have Jericho go out with a big victory, and if he goes away for a while, it leaves something memorable for us to remember him by for the next time he comes back for us for a part-time appearance. It's actually a significant signature victory for Chris Jericho at this stage of his career. And you look at it from CM Punk, now he's been gone for a couple of months. He comes back against a guy who he dominated in 2012, 2013. It's yet another legend that he lost to. He lost to Rock twice, he lost to Taker, and now he's losing to Chris Jericho, who lost to damn Fandango at WrestleMania. Now, you want to talk about intriguing storylines. You want to talk about doing things differently with characters. And you want to talk about getting another big-time babyface, which they have to do now that they turned Ryback heel for a dumb dick reason. Some of you may say, well, they've got Daniel Bryan. Okay, that's fine. But what would be wrong at this point with turning CM Punk back babyface as well? It's always easier to generate and create a heel than it is a babyface. And when you've got a guy like CM Punk, who people really don't want to boo, you're going against the grain, trying to force people to boo him, force people to hate him when they want to like him, when they want to respect him, when they want to cheer him. Well, what better way to kind of springboard that babyface turn than bringing him back, having him lose to Jericho, maybe even have it be Heyman that kind of cost him, and then you're launching off with a big match maybe against Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. It's just a thought.
Pudding pops, pudding pops, pudding pops, pudding pops, pudding pops. Everybody wants some pudding pops.
So time to recap the triple threat. First thing I'll say is when you talk about Christian, yeah, you got a guy that dates back to the Attitude Era. Plenty of people like, both casual fans and the more serious internet fans. He's been gone for quite a while. Been cleared since what?
December.
6 months. This guy's been cleared. You're telling me that you can't find a spot for somebody like Christian? You're telling me that every single person that you put on TV on Raw or SmackDown on a week in, week out basis is better than Christian? I know you don't like Christian, but give me a freaking break. How about this? If you want to talk about an introductory feud for a Curtis Axel, Christian!
You could have put him against Jack Swagger.
Something! You could have used him. These type of guys that you just waste. Why would you waste somebody like Christian? Makes absolutely no sense. He could get a semi-decent feud with somebody, He could have decent matches with somebody, and he could help elevate younger talents, like you said, like a Swagger, like me, I said with an Axel. I mean, it just makes so much sense. Why in the hell would you not do it? Absolutely blows my mind.
And I mean, speaking of returning guys, we have CM Punk coming back. And yeah, he's facing Jericho again, a match we've already seen. But I am interested to see Jericho win this time. I want to see a redemption story in CM Punk. I don't want to see the same story. He comes back and, oh, he just beats Chris Jericho and Jericho's gone again and it doesn't matter. I want to see CM Punk lose, have to rebuild himself, become the best in the world again.
Yeah, and like I said, that to me is a perfect way to transition him back to babyface,
Exactly.
versus where he ultimately should be. But there's only one thing we really want to talk about.
Pudding
Pops,
pudding
Pops,
pudding
Pops,
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 pudding
Pops,
Pudding Pops.